You are in the temple of the rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for M, who says rant about chat systems, then says related and links to an XKCD comic that just shows like a Venn diagram of all the different chat systems that you will find people in and how he can never remember who's on what, which, yeah, can be a problem. For me, I was not into chatting in the early days of me being online because chat rooms terrified me. I was very cautious on the internet as a kid because my parents had always warned me about, like, the internet's a scary place. They'd heard all the news stories and shit. So, like, chat rooms were seen as seedy. Buying things online was seen as seedy. Anything you had to put your credit card into, I had no involvement with. So, like, it wasn't until my late teens when I started using chat systems initially to talk with other anime bloggers in a more, immediate fashion. And so I remember having AOL Instant Messenger was, I think, the first one I was using heavily. And like most of the anime bloggers were on there. That was by far the most popular. And then I was on Yahoo Messenger pretty much exclusively to talk to my friend Donson because he just thought it was the best one. I mean, it was at the time. Like, out of the mainstream ones, at least, Yahoo had the cleanest interface. It was faster. AIM was always kind of bogged down. It would crash on you and shit. I think it might have had ads too. And then you had MSN. I don't think anybody I knew was on MSN. Maybe I had used it once or twice, but Yahoo was my favorite. And so, like, I would talk to him a lot just because I wanted to be on Yahoo Messenger and not so much on AIM. But then I found out about the client Pigeon that let you just, like, attach all of your chat clients into this one thing. So then it just had all the friends lists there. And it was super clean, ad-free, of course. So I was on Pigeon for a long time, mostly using those chat clients. Then when I got into the YouTubing community, particularly, as a brony YouTuber, all of a sudden, everyone I talked to was on Skype. And I had barely touched Skype before. As I understood it, it only really existed to do calls because it was such a, like, bloated, the fucking user interface sucked dick, and it was super, like, bogged down with ads. It ran like shit. And the few times I had tried to participate in calls, I really hated it. And I've always hated calls. I do not do calls if I can help it. I only do it for podcasts. I don't talk to people in calls generally. Because I don't generally wear headphones, and I don't like to hear an echo, and I don't like everything about the experience is completely negative to me. I hate calls. But, in the Brony community, everybody was on Skype because people were calling all the time. I think largely because it was a lot of Zoomers, and Skype is very much the Zoomer portal up until Discord came into existence. So suddenly because I made my Skype public at the time, I had like 300 Skype contacts, and that was the main way that I talked to people. But Skype eventually just got so fucking shitty and slow, and people were getting hacked all the time, and it would crash all the time when we're trying to do podcasts and shit. So as soon as Discord came into existence and I started hearing about it, I immediately made the switch and then forced everybody I knew on. I like put in my Skype description just like, I will not talk to you on Skype. You have to come to Discord. And so I used this as an opportunity to burn away all my Skype contacts and, start from scratch with only people I actually knew on my Discord. And so, of course, Discord is the main chat client that I use today because it's where the PCP is. I have my own Patreon Discord. Those are the only ways I really communicate with anybody, is those two group chats. So, but there are other things that at least going by this XKCD comic are considered chat systems, so I'll go through that. Email, I pretty much only use email for, like, professional purposes or just people who I don't know necessarily. Like, if I'm organizing an appearance on a podcast, if I'm talking to my landlady, most of my emails are Patreon related, like, because every time somebody leaves a comment on anything, I get an email, or every time I get a patron or they change a pledge. So it's just like hundreds of Patreon emails and then whatever else is in the middle of that. Texting, SMS. I don't text barely ever. I only really text people when I'm out with them and we've lost each other. Like if we're on opposite sides of a store and I'm trying to figure out where they are, I'll be like, "Where you at?" You know. Otherwise, I don't do any texting at all. Google Hangouts, I've always hated. I've done a few of them, mostly for podcast purposes, where we were just doing a show and that was an easy way to do it and have video. But the user interface is so fucking terrible, and like it has all these weird issues where like it'll crash and then you'll rejoin a call and there'll be two instances of you in the call, and it sucks. Snapchat, I pretty much used up until I was in a relationship and then never again. Like initially I was using it as just a way to like send funny pictures to my friends. But then when Mumkey got a girlfriend through Snapchat, I and half the rest of the PCP all got on Snapchat to try to do the same, and it worked, and then I didn't need it anymore. Um, let's see, a lot of these I've never even fucking heard of or never used before. IRC, I definitely spent some time in IRC channels at various strange points where it was either for like manga scanslation and downloading, because usually like translation groups, be they subtitles or manga, are run through IRC chats. So if you get into one of those groups, or it used to be if you wanted to download things, there are certain groups that will only let you download things through their IRC chats. So I did some of that. I used it for organizing things a few times. I think I had just a general IRC for my channel once. Back when the Pub Crawl was a radio show, we had an IRC chat that was live during the show. But I haven't used it in a long time, and I honestly, every time I use it, I have to relearn it entirely because I can never remember how the fuck it works. Facebook Messenger, I actually use a lot because it's the only way I contact my family. Everybody in my family is in I think this is true of a lot of people, but like everybody in the family is in a group chat. And so anything that we're organizing together or we need to let each other know about something, it always goes in the Facebook group chat. So, that's pretty much all I use it for, just to contact my family. It's the only reason I use Facebook at all, because I don't post on there at all. Twitter DM, I use exclusively for getting in touch with other internet personalities, because pretty much everybody who has a Twitter is addicted to Twitter and guaranteed will notice if you DM them. So if I'm going on the Dick Show, for instance, Dick Masterson's mostly reachable through Twitter DM, although he has said that it would be easier to use email since his Twitter gets deleted all the time, but whatever. Drunken Peasants always contacts me through DM. People like that. If it's somebody who's on Twitter and finds out about you through Twitter or wants to contact you because of something that happened on Twitter, usually Twitter DMs. But I have my DM set to, only people who I follow and who follow me can DM me, and I only follow like 60 people, and most of them are inactive, so not a lot of people even can Twitter DM me. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's how I use them all. So basically at this point, it's Facebook Messenger to talk to my family, Discord to talk to the internet, and Twitter DM or email to organize like show appearances, and that's about it. Oh, and also listed in here is the chat tab in an old Google Doc, which I thought was funny because there used to be, like a threaded comment system on Google Reader where you could have your own comment thread on on like an article that's just you and other people who you share your Google Reader with. And I did use that for a while when that was a thing, but I think that's more of a forum than a chat. I don't know where you draw the line there.